Hello, everybody. We're here on our last day. Today's dry fasting finish. Now we can start drinking water. Welcome, everybody, and well done for everybody who joined this opportunity to heal yourself, to be in contact with yourself, and do what nature says. Just be natural, be free. And we're so lucky today to have Markus with us. Hello,
Hello.
Markus.
Hello, Lucio. How are you doing?
Markus, thank you for joining.
Always a pleasure to be with you, and also a nice for the invitation. So, you want me to talk or whatever?
Yes, you're in charge now.
I'm not in charge. I never want to be in charge. Um, I hope you made the first experience because now it's actually the beginning of discovering who you are, or more or less who you are not, and discover your addiction. Because the most people always talk about nutrition and nutrition and nutrition. So if nutrition would exist, then why you go to the bathroom? Makes no sense. So, and even in these 2 days, you could see that you even go to the bathroom. Then you have to ask, yeah, where it comes from. I was not drinking and I was not eating, and I still go to the bathroom. So your body is still working uh, perfectly and using the urine in this case to detox. In later stages, maybe in 1 week by dry fasting or even 2 weeks, then actually urinating is you urinate less and less and less till this the point that you have no need to go to the bathroom anymore, or you urinate so clear that you say, okay, why I go to the bathroom? That's very important to understand because always we think we need liquid as we just were listening to the dry grape, to the rosins, I guess they were called, but it's only an impression of your mind because you think I get more dry because I do not drink, but this is what you're thinking. What you're thinking, you are manifesting. So the most problem I always see is when you're losing weight. The most people are so afraid to losing weight, but your body is balancing itself by its own. So you're losing weight, that's perfect to a certain grade, and then you recover and balancing yourself to the level what your body knows it's perfect for you, not what you think it's perfect for you. But then there come two levels. So one is of course when you think I'm not eating, I'm getting dried out or I'm losing weight. That's your thoughts. That's one point. But the other point is mentally, emotionally. That means I have seen a lot of people, they are very thin or skinny. It says this way. Um, and when they do the retreat, then they are getting even more skinnier. So they always ask me what's happening, and that's actually an emotion problem because mainly these people are sacrifice themselves. That means they think in others more than in themselves. Sacrifice means I take care of somebody, like maybe parents or children, that I actually don't want to take care of. And I assume the responsibility, but the body is telling me, no, it's not your responsibility. You sacrifice yourself because you're doing something what they don't like to do. The classically one is that I can always see in parents, they sacrifice for themselves to be slaves. So they go to work. Um, Build a house and whatever, to sacrifice themselves for their children because they think they They want the best for their children, but for the best for their children is not money. But when you are a slave and behave like a slave, then you are as a example like a slave. Then you form actually a copy, and you are unhappy, and so you form an unhappy copy. That's your children. So a sacrifice is the worst what you can do, because sacrifice is not love, of course not. And that's very important. Therefore, when talking about losing weight, it's very important to observe what drives me to losing weight. What thought is driving me to losing weight? Emotionally, or still I believe I need food. I still need nutrition or whatever. And therefore is actually this retreat, 2 days, it's very soft, but therefore next week we start actually the bigger one. It's 8 days fasting, and then you get a deep, complete experience and understanding of your body and the process of the addiction and the process of detox. How is your body actually working? What he is actually craving for, and actually he's craving for nothing, but that you have to understand and to experience. That's the only way that you get rid of the idea that you need nutrition, because in your brain, everybody is telling you this since actually breastfeeding, your idea of nutrition. So for you, it's like a law, we have to eat. But when we observe, then we can find out that nutrition do not exist, and also you have to adapt to the food that you're eating right now. It's very easy to see, because children's, for example, baby, that's the classic, in my point of view, the classic example that something do not fit, because for babies, honey is forbidden. Why? Always telling me honey is so high in nutrition or whatever, and then babies can't consume them. So where's the logic? So of course, because the baby is not used to the toxin of honey, so everything is toxic for your body. So your body has to adapt step by step till to the grade you are right now, that you can consume whatever nonsense you want to consume, and your body is still accepting it. Some are a little bit less, some a little more. That you can see. There are people that are eating 5 days a day, 5 times a day, and they eat any kind of what you see. Ooh, how does this body actually accept this nonsense what you put you in the mouth? Oh, of course, fast food. Oof. Fast food is actually nowadays, I would say that's plastic. Plastic with a little flavor or whatever. But the people enjoy the flavor. But of course, that's another step. That's the emotional part. But right now, to understand a little bit the physical reaction of drying out, what you interpret like a Rosen. No, everything is running well when you leave the two aspects. First, the sacrifice, and the thought that you need liquid or that you need something to eat. Okay? It's almost too much talking. So let's actually, you have to talk. You have to share, not me sharing.
It was breaking up the last bit that you said, Markus. Can you repeat?
What I said that you should start right now to share. You made the experience, and share with us your experience.
Okay, someone has something to share?
I can share.
Yes, please.
Yes, so the last 24 hours, and I started the fast on the Thursday. At noon was my last meal. So, and after we spoke yesterday, I said I had stomach things in the first fast, and yesterday I was like, yeah, something wasn't feeling very good in my stomach, and I thought, okay, I feel better if I am upright a little bit. I couldn't lie down fully because I felt like there was reflux, which I don't normally get when I'm in the, you know, in the other situation. And then I don't know, sometime in the afternoon, I moved a bit to one side and I felt I wanted to vomit. So there was bile coming out, and I thought, oh, that's interesting. Um, Immediately my mouth was generating saliva, so I could swallow and neutralize the bile. So that was great. And I thought I'm gonna observe and see what else happens. And then a few hours later, I think already early hours in the morning, I felt again something wanting to come up. So I went again, and there was not so much, but there was a bit of it wasn't so yellow, so it was a bit less. But I had been hearing in my mind, and I'm not sure where that voice came, but it is enough. And I heard it again after the second experience, and I thought, okay, so we leave it here. And it was good at that point, but I was wondering about the vomiting because I had not heard of this before, of that as a possible. I guess it's still healing, but it kind of caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting it. Um, and apart from that, so I started sipping water after, I think it was 2 a.m. I woke up and I went for some water, and yeah, I've been on water with a tiny bit of juice in it. So yeah, I kind of felt one thing when you said this morning, Rocio, that the air is probably too dry. I felt, yes, the air is definitely too dry in this house. But because I was feeling cold, I wasn't even opening the window. I was so cold. So yeah, it's kind of maybe things to observe for next time. If I make myself get up and go out for a bit, that could have maybe made a different experience for me. So it's just listening to everything and everyone, what everyone is sharing. And just as I emerge from, the fast and sipping water and so on, I felt super emotional this morning as well. So I guess that's again the clearing of emotions. And yes, it's yeah. I'm curious if that's something that you see a lot. This vomiting and it's bile, so it means the bile has to come into the stomach and then out of it is quite interesting because I never had that happen really. But yeah, curious about. I know there's not always an explanation because it's my body and no one can know exactly what happens in it, but just I thought of mentioning it and see what you guys can say about it.
Markus, would you like to share something about that? The mental part of that reaction? Markus, are you there?
Markus tried to open his window, but
Yeah.
there's yeah. Now I'm here. Yeah, okay. Of course, it's always a individual experience, but by 2 days, and your body reacts this hard, then you should be actually very ill. That means or very intoxicated. That means your body reacts immediately by detoxing only by a very harsh intox. That means I don't know if you had a medical history or you have I don't know how you're eating or what you're eating and in which frequency, but only by 2 days, or it was not even 2 days, but one day, you do a 1 day fast and then you vomit. That means that your body is very intoxicated. That your body, when you give your body the chance to detox, he reacts immediately. That's like by children. Children, when they are very intoxicated, and they react very quick. But in your case, I would say you have to start actually immediate fasting, because when you do immediate fasting, that in my experience wouldn't even happen in this reaction, because your body is already used to detoxing, but your body is not used to detox. It is only used to intox. And then when you gave your body the moment for detox, then it's something new for you. Okay, so you should change your eating habit and your all your habits.
Was breaking a tiny bit. Do you say intermittent fasting? She should practice intermittent fasting. Is that what you say?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah, but at least you should do intermediate fasting. Then in the future it won't be a problem. But because by intermediate fasting, you give your body at least a small certain of time to detox. Now you only intox, and your body can take never ever, only maybe when you sleep take a rest to detox. So there's only intox, intox, intox. In the moment when you stop the intox, then the body starts immediately to detox. But yeah, you can see in which moments you vomit. For example, in your normal life, when you have a overdoses of alcohol or any other overdoses of intox, then your body reacts immediately by a detox. And when your body reacts this harsh, this very strong reaction of detox, then you are very intoxicated. Clear?
Yeah, yeah. I do
I know it's
intermittent
not so
fasting,
nice
but
to
I guess
hear,
it's
but
no, it's that threshold where
that's
you. Mhm.
yeah. When you have intermediate fasting, then but but not 12. 12 is not intermediate fasting. So intermediate fasting starts by, in my point of view, 6:18. But in this 18 hours, there's no water, no nothing, dry. Solo, so only intoxicating yourself with liquid or food during 6 hours. Then this 2 days you won't even feel. So when you feel it right now, then you have a constant intox. And I don't know in which form, because intox can be also mildly, and that means your thoughts. So actually, it was a nice experience. So my body is telling me, I'm still doing a lot of intox by thinking too much of myself, or by still wrong diet that I still do. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Billy, for sharing. And you did amazing to start drinking water to find the right balance when it's time to stop the fasting and start flashing out with water. And when you're ready, you can start again. Someone else would like to share the experience?
Yes, I would like to share that this time was easier, and what I experienced was the mind rolling and rolling, and many thoughts about like you should meditate, you should um, somewhat be more present. And I noticed too that doing sounds with my voice give me some relief, and touching my head, like brushing my head with my hands, give me some relief. but I struggle in the way of being present and not fantasizing all time. And I didn't feel a lot like if my feelings were somewhat blocked with the mind fully of things. So it was like uh, a boring experience. But no, I don't know. Now I feel better talking here and distraction.
You want a comment? I guess yes. Um,
Yes, please. Something.
yeah, but by your answer or your comment was where you were telling us what you always looking for is relief. You feel some sensation, you feel some pain, you feel something, then immediately you want an aspirin. You want a relief. You want something that this goes away instead of observing. Ah, my body is healing itself, and healing means certain pain and certain sensations. So perfect. Ah, I should be grateful. And when I'm grateful of healing, but you're not healing, actually it's your consciousness, it's balancing your body, then you should be very, very grateful and happy. But no, you start your, what do you say, your mind novella or mind game and start thinking. And when you start thinking, then you fall into your old patterns of your old thoughts. Oh, nutrition, I'm weak, I'm whatever. Instead of observing, my body is healing itself. Ui, nice. Thank you for it. And then everything would be running very well. But when you're fighting against, then you're searching for an alternative. I have to breathe. I have to whatever. Instead of observing what's actually happening. Take your time. You won't die by one day fasting, please. So don't get crazy. Um, so to understand everything, you have to do nothing and not look for distraction of meditation, distraction of doing something. Because by doing something means I'm avoiding to look, to observe. And this is actually the retreat is to an invitation to observe, not to look away. And when there's a pain or there's certain sensation, that's an invitation to observe what's actually happening with myself, emotionally and physically. Okay.
Thank you. But one last question is that sometimes I'm just experiencing and lost in my thoughts and somewhat trying to be present and remember you are here. And I'm confused about uh, if I'm observing when I'm on my thoughts, like on the river of thoughts. I'm not sure if it's simply try to be present and let the time goes on. I don't know.
Yeah, it's very easy to distinguish. When you analyze the situation, then you're in your mind, ego, personality, consciousness. But when you observe neutrally, that means there is no engagement with what you observe. So you keep distance. You observe it with no emotions, with nothing involved. That's actually, it should be the true observation. But normally you get easily involved in what you're observing. Okay, is actually the point where you can distinguish. Oh, I'm in my ego mind and I'm looking for a solution, or I'm actually an observer and observe the situation without fear, without any emotions in this situation.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, it's incredible how we are used to much distractions. And we know I'm getting bored. It's like we're looking for the distraction. But it's a process to become those.
Yeah, for me, boring is a nice word to understand where you're not in service. Because when you are in service, serving is serving with your soul, then there is no type of boring or no a time of boring, because your consciousness is full in the awareness to serve. When you get boring, it's when your mind searching or your intellect is searching to occupy themselves. That means to do something. And when you, in this state that we offer you, do nothing, silence and fasting, then you get boring, or mainly it's your intellect gets boring because your intellect is always on doing something, on reaching something out for it, or I have to reach this goal or that goal or whatever. Actually, you have to do nothing and you do have to reach nothing. But your intellect is always busy and then you get boring. And this means that you're not serving actually. Serving means do you serve for humanity, you serve for other souls. That's serving. And then when you serve, you do not get bored, even when you do nothing. That's the point.
Thank you, Markus. Will someone else would like to share the experience?
Hola, everyone. Hola, Markus. Nice to meet you. I'm Alora. Wow, it's really good to hear everybody's experiences. I am actually still fasting, and I started on Thursday. And as I mentioned before, this is my second experience. 9 years ago, I did a 4-day dry fast. And I was just kind of reflecting on the difference in that time. I was in England, it was January, it was cold, I was inside, and I was just kind of sedentary, really. I wasn't really moving much or breathing much or doing anything or really thinking about it. I was just in the experience. And I remembered I had the experience then on the first full day of like convulsing. So my body shook and I kind of blacked out for a second, and then all my senses were heightened. It was almost kind of like a wild animal when they shake off a chase and they've escaped a chase. It was like my body was releasing in that way, and it happened twice the last time I did it. And as I'd shared before, my kind of takeaway from that was that we didn't need food to survive or to live even, but it was there for our enjoyment. But then I went back to just my vegan way of eating. But this time I've noticed that actually I feel like I can live this. Yesterday I even went out in my car and I drove to just a little local market here because my daughter is with me here and she's eating just fruits, and I just got her like lots of fruits, and I was like, wow, I can actually live this. I felt really good. I painted the floor in our yurt, and I had to go a lot slower, so I had waves of like, okay, I need to rest now, and I was just coming back to my mantra, like I allow my body to rest, I allow my body to release, I allow my body to regenerate. It was like really yeah, a different experience, and a part of me wants to go longer now, and also a part of me is feeling like the next time I do it, I will do 6 days. The next time, I'm really inspired to do the dark room and maybe do it for 9 days after that. So I feel like I'm now going to, especially in this time, because now it's a different experience. I'm in central Portugal. We live here. We have our own land. So I could just be in the mornings, I could just be naked and just in the sun, and a real different experience to what I had 9 years ago. So I'm really feeling really super inspired also to this time have a community of others that are exploring this as well and not just kind of blind self-led like I was last time. And I'd be really interested in doing a retreat, a longer retreat at some point as well. And even I feel I could even invite people here. Some of the people I've had to visit me here have done some fasting, not dry fasting, but just fasting, water fasting, or juice fasting. So yeah, I'm excited and I'm inspired and I feel like I can live this, which means I can share this, and I'm gonna see how much longer I can go until I feel like I want something else. But right now I'm really proud of myself. Like I'm cutting fruits for my daughter and I'm just like not driven to eat it. I'm not salivating for it. I am noticing there's a little bit of dry mouth at times, but nowhere near as much as before. And yeah, I really resonate with this way of being. It really makes sense to me. And it's just allowing, like each time I do this, to allow whatever programs or patterns are still in my body to be transmuted. So I'm gonna be gentle with myself because I do have a a reputation of being extreme. I go from one experience to the other. Like when I went vegan overnight. And so, yeah, I'm just allowing to be gentle with my body. And yeah, I just feel it's really added a lot more energy to also to be more present with the things that I want to create. So yeah, I'm really, really thankful for this experience. What I have noticed yesterday and today, I noticed that my urine was really, really dark, like really, really strong, like really, really dark. And I guess it's just, that's just my kidneys doing their thing. I trust my body is doing it's going, in its natural process. And so I don't have any like concerns, but just observing really. And yeah, but I'm curious to do the dark room and no food, no eating, because it really does resonate with the birthing sanctuary that I am creating here, to return to the womb almost. And I would really love, actually, one of my things is if I can make this more of a lifestyle rather than just an experience, to then kind of bring my daughter slowly back into this as well. I would really love that, to bring her back into her original state. She's 3.5, so, but as I shared on here before, her father is actually very much on this path and is not here with us because he didn't feel he could live that way of living in a family dynamic. So she chose us both. So I feel like it's like we need to kind of bring her in a way back to this original way of being. So I'm super inspired. Yeah, so thank you. If there's any reflection, or it's welcome, and I just wanted to say thank you for this space.
I'm right now thinking, should I leave you in your cloud, or I should bring you down to earth? Because it's not nice what I go into tell. Because when somebody is in his cloud, he is dreaming and flying. It's somebody on drugs. But you have to go down to earth and observe.
You can bring me down to earth, Markus. I welcome it.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you're in a relation or with your children, there's no big solution because all your trauma, all your trauma is already in your child. So she has to suffer to relieve, like you have suffered to relieve yourself from it. And to escape from it, it's dark room, fasting. Everything what you do helps to discover that you don't need it. You didn't need nothing. You only have to discover who you're not. You're not mom, but you feel like a mom. When you are feeling like a mom, who is feeling like a mom? The one you are not. Again, you're in a trap. When you want to reach something, you're in a trap. So when I have desires, I'm in a trap. So desire nothing at all. And it's the difficult part. Because when you, for example, create a desire, I want the best for my child. When you want the best for your child, then you have to leave your child alone. That means leave it alone. Your child will do their own experience, but you are on top. And when you're on top of your children, won't work. And do you want the best? I know. But the problem is, who wants the best? The one you are not. So you teach, there are two egos. Two egos will form another ego. Two confused ones will form another confused one. Yeah, two addicteds were or have formed already an addicted. So to take off from her drug is difficult. Because because she has anxiety, she has your anxiety. She is eating by anxiety, not by needing for it. So, and also when you're in a relationship, then it's also already programmed the desire for love, unconsciously. So you think you love your children. An ego can't love children. A mom can't live his daughter or son. A dad can't love their children. It's, you have to observe, not to judge, to observe. For example, you want the best for your child. That's a conditional love. And what you apply is conditionally. That's not true love. It's a love you have learned. And true love, to apply true love, there is no desire for nothing. You should be in peace with yourself. But you can see, you're looking, searching out for everything outside. When you depend on food, when you depend on money, and when you search out for love, then there will never ever peace in you. And when there is no peace in you, then you're in constant movement. Instead of stand still, there's nothing to do here. That's an illusion. In the illusion, you have to do nothing at all. You can do everything what you want, but in the end, you will discover that you have to do nothing. And that's a little bit difficult because now you have a daughter with almost 4 years, and now it's starting your ego. The ego is already born by 3 to 4 years. The ego is born, and then there's no exit. Because in this moment, the ego starts to developing more and more and more desires, more thoughts, more and more and more. So the only solution would be far from you, because you're thinking. Meanwhile, you're thinking, and meanwhile, you're analyzing, you program your daughter to think and to analyze. I know you want to recover. Now you what do you say? You throw water on the floor, and now you want to recover the water. It's impossible. And therefore, actually, because I was observing, there's no solution in the way we are doing it right now, because the system will be always behind your neck. Because when you want to do something freely, then you have to free yourself from money and from food. and also for free from searching for love. And that's in this society more or less impossible. So therefore, I was looking for a solution for a next generation of humanity that's free. But free can only be when there is no heritage. So heritage means drama, means fears, all your thoughts, everything what you are doing or have done the last 4 years is already in your daughter. It's already there. Any moment of anxiety, everything is there. So it can't be erased like a delete button. That's impossible. So therefore, she has already a certain trauma inside, and this trauma only can come to the surface consciously. So she has to suffer, and then by suffering, maybe she is getting to relieve it like you're doing it right now. You have suffered, and then you start to questioning, but a baby can't question it. It should be very early. Now 4 years, it's not easy. I don't want to kill your illusion, but you should focus on yourself, not on her, and not on your partner, only on you. Because when you're orientating yourself on your partner, on your child, then it's the ego. Then you're again lost. And then there's no solution. Solution can only be done when you're in your true self. But the true self has no desire, has no thoughts, has no nothing. Let's only manifest it, nothing else. Your children or your child has chosen you because there was no other solution or another alternative. I have to be born here and try to keep awake my parents. But my parents already put me asleep, because put me asleep means ego. And when the ego grows, because you do not need the ego, but the ego is automatically formed by the parents, because the parents live in the ego. So two egos form another ego. And the ego has to discover his ego, and sooner or later, after certain years of suffering, maybe the ego is saying, oh, okay, I want to get rid of my ego. That means I will observe who I am not, and then manifestate who I am. That's easy when you understand what's happening. When you do not understand what's happening, then you are in your ego mind and think you know what to do. When you think you know what to do, then you're lost. And when you think you want something to do, then you're again lost. So you should try to desire nothing and do nothing. And then everything comes. Everything is coming by its own, and in its own rhythm. And this is actually what we try first here in the small version. But in the long retreat, of course, then you discover who you're not. And that everything what you do or desire makes no sense. And that I can understand, because all your life, what you have lived, make no sense. It's actually useless for your soul. But you think, no, it has a purpose. It has, again, you start thinking. Again, you're in the trap. It's so easy to fall into the trap. So no desire is the path to it. But you have desires because you are in a certain dependency. So to be in peace means not to depend on nothing, on absolutely nothing. No house, no money, no nothing. Then I'm free, and then somebody can be born free. When I'm a slave to or depending on something, then I only form a copy of me. And when I see I'm unhappy, that's normal, because you are formed to be unhappy. Then you form another one to be unhappy. Actually, the ego, it can't be happy. The ego can only be happily distracted. So you need a distraction. And meanwhile, you have a distraction, then you feel the relief, I'm good. But when you have no distraction, and that's actually the point what we're doing here, that you do nothing at all. And then you can discover more about yourself, more who you are not the one you want to become. That's nonsense. And because somebody who wants to become someone, who the illusion to become somebody, please don't get confused so easily. And also, when you think you are in illusion, everything what you think with your ego mind is an illusion. Okay, that should be clear. So the illusion, what you're thinking and what you're doing, in delusion, how far can you get? Exactly. None. So the only one who can make an experience is your true self. So therefore you have to do nothing. So then what you have to do comes to the surface and then it will be done. By doing nothing, everything is done. It's very easy. But we are programmed to do, programmed to reach out for more spirituality, more illumination or enlightenment or whatever they're selling you. And you out there with a lot of sellers. They sell you everything, every nonsense that you can get. And everything out there helps you to discover that you do not need it. It's very easy. Even the fasting we do, it's only to discover, oh, I'm an addicted. Actually, I do not need to eat. That's easy. That's all. There is no big deal. And fasting is actually the natural state. We should talk more about eating than about fasting. It's vice versa, actually. But we are so confused and think the natural status is eating or nutrition or whatever. But it's actually vice versa. We should talk more the food or why we eat. And actually you eat mainly because of anxiety. So that you should also always have in mind, you eat first by believing, and then the second, the reaction of your body, that means the detox of your body to adapt again with less food, or you have eaten first meat and then adapting to only to vegan or whatever, then you could see the adaptation. It's not so quick. The first days you detox. So the adaptation. And then the third part, that's the heaviest part, that's your emotions. You eat emotionally because it's a drug. It's a drug to calm down the anxiety. So the anxiety is the problem. The anxiety is the problem, not the drug. Because, of course, you can leave the food, but to calm down your anxiety, then you do meditation or do any other nonsense, only to calm down the anxiety. Then it's what you can see, for example, first you're an alcoholic, and then you leave your alcohol, but then you start the cigarette or start eating. Then there's no difference. You're still in the same status. You're full of anxiety. So you haven't stopped the anxiety, you only changed the drug. And that, what sense does this mean? None. So therefore you have to go to the source. The source of the problem are you, because you believe you are this, what you see on the screen or in the mirror. So therefore you have to observe who you are not to try to be someone who you are already. It makes no sense. But no, they teach you to be someone. Oosh. It's and who wants to be someone? Exactly, the one you are not. And therefore, it's very important to observe. Now, my speech is already too long, but it's very, very important, and we can see it over and over and over and again. The confusion of to reach out to be someone or to have another what do you say, um, another paper on the wall what they have reached, whatever. It's we should focus only to observe who we are not, nothing else. Do nothing. But therefore, observe again these 3 points. When you're depending on food, when you're depending on money, and you're looking for love, and when you have partner, mainly you're looking for love. So your child were born not peacefully and relaxed. Your child was born by two love beggars, and two love beggars create, of course, another love beggar. So therefore, take it easy. Keep observing, and of course, when you have such a young child, then she can teach you a lot, because she will teach you every day that you're confused, every day. And when the 8% of the day, she will teach you, oh, mom, I need no mom. I need no mom. Mom, die, mom. I need here a soul partner. We are all soul partners. We are only one soul, and then we make only a idea of separation. But when we again start to believe we are this, what we see, and this is my body, and this is me, then we are gone lost. Therefore, is the big invitation: observe who you are not. The one you are knows who it is, and it's not. There's no need for it that you explain your soul who is a soul. Your soul knows already. So you only observe who you're not, and do not get involved in your life, because your life is lived by actually by your soul, not from you. But in the moment you start living, then then you do not live anymore. Okay, I hope you get the point. There's no anger or accusations or offending somebody. I'm always inviting to observe. What you do in the end, that's yours. I'm full busy with myself. So do whatever you want. I only invite you to observe certain situations in your life that I have observed with others during retreats, and mainly with parents. They're struggling a lot. And in the end, even when I tell them, you have to be free to help others to be free. When you're a slave, you have only to form others to be slaves. So that we have always in mind, or we have always in mind what I am. I'm teaching others. So I have first to free myself. Then I can teach or show others to be free from any addiction, from any attachment, or from anything else. Okay, that's, I guess, is enough. Enough talking. If there's something unclear about it, of course, you can ask. Or the next one who can share would be even much nicer.
Marcus, I have a question, please. Why we have anxiety in the first place?
Why we have what?
Anxiety in the first place.
Yeah, I think it's easy.
Some truth from Donna. She was saying it really got to me when she said, we are the dark and we are the light. Like we judge on others, but the others are us. And I was anxious all day yesterday, like thinking about it. And it was really weird. I never had that reaction before from someone's story.
No, but it's very easy.
Yeah.
Because you live a life that's not yours. You live an ego life. An ego life is programmed by your parents, by society, and then you do something what you don't want to do. And that's called anxiety. It's normal. So you should do what you really want to do, but your true self. That therefore you have to learn to do nothing. But then comes to you what you have to do. But now you're doing everything by your mind. What you think I have to do, how I have to be like a mom, like a dad. I have certain ideas of others, and then when I copy ideas of others, then I'm not in my true heart, and then that's causes inevitable that you get to anxiety, because it's not what you feel and then what you do, and that's called anxiety. It's very easy. For example, who wants to work? Nobody wants to work. Please. So when you're forced to work, then automatically You come home, you're full of anxiety, so you want something to calm down, then you eat or whatever. You need any drug to calm down the anxiety because you do something what you don't want to do, or you live a life that you actually, it's not your life. Mainly it's a life of your parents. You behave like your parents, you act like your parents, you talk like your parents. So you're a copy of somebody who's unhappy. So of course you are unhappy. When you're unhappy, that's more or less anxiety. Clear? Easy?
So the more far away from who we are, the more anxious we are. Yes?
Exactly. The more we are going back, that means the more we are children, the better for us. The more we are in our true self. So we should behave like children, live like children. Tomorrow is another day. Why I should be worried? Makes no sense. But no, we are programmed to control, to do whatever the system says.
To plan everything, to plan a year ahead, a week ahead.
Yeah. That's always. I do retreats also almost a year ahead because everybody is asking me. But so it's already full. But I do not think too much where I'm going to be next year or next week. Well, no, not even next week because now I'm still. You can hear there are still children laughing and there are still birds. So I'm here to listen, but I'm surrounded right now. So that's more or less to live in the presence because next week is next week. Maybe next week rains or whatever. I don't know. I don't care. But the problem is you care. And then you're expecting something. And when it do not fulfill what you expect, again, anxiety.
But one thing, but you still have, how to say, a schedule of your all retreats this year.
Yeah, yes, of course. But if the retreats come
It's a plan.
yeah, they ask me for a date and they organize. I'm organizing nothing. I only organize my traveling, but I also have my exit strategy for next year. Then I will disappear. Then I will go to wherever, a cave or whatever, because I do not need nothing. Then everything is told. The message is out there. Do whatever you want. Ciao. But meanwhile, I'm listening to my soul. So my soul says, or my true self says, no, we have to transmit as possible the message and then do whatever I want to do, or actually what actually my soul is sending me a message for next year already. So therefore I know it's time to not only to slow down, to turn off everything what I'm doing with the retreats. It's enough. There's enough. There's still enough possibilities for everybody to discover, and the rest there's the message. So the rest is up to them or to you to do whatever you think you do. When you start to think, then you know, then you're again in that trap. So start the feeling, to feel. And feel is not there, it's more down in the heart. And for the most people, it's very difficult to feel. They're more easy to fear. They have a lot of fears. It's difficult for them to feel. And that you have also to train, because feeling means trusting yourself in your true self, not in what you're expecting or can be or whatever. And so mainly you have no trust in nothing. Therefore, you want control. Only when I'm in control, then it will run. But you can see how it runs your world, chaos. So stop doing what you do, because that's keeping you in chaos. So therefore, start to learn to do nothing. Then everything comes to you. What you have to do, or what your soul or your true self wants to do, that decide your true self. The important thing is, by doing nothing, it's not done by your ego mind and your ego decisions, by desires or by whatever. Everything what should be comes to you.
Marcus, the voice inside, when we know it's from our soul or it's from the ego, because we know the ego can represent itself as angel or a good vibe thing. He can transform in any. It's like a shaper. I'm a shapeshifter. So how when I know that voice inside me is coming from my being or my ego, like sometimes you got voice in your head, idea, this, that. When I know it's
it's actually for me it's very easy, because when you hear voices, they say you have to do this or you have to do that, then it's not coming from your heart, because it's coming from what you desire. I want to hear voices. I want a message. I want. Then of course you get a message, but not from your true self. Therefore, you should learn in form of listening by doing nothing, no desires, nothing. You should be in peace with yourself, but mainly you're not in peace. And when you're not in peace, then forms desire, thoughts, then everything goes around there. So to discover it, it's actually easy when you do nothing, when there's no desire, because then you're in a status of perception of your true self. When you are full of desires, then you're more in your mind and you're looking for the best option. And then, of course, when you desire so much by your mind, then also you program yourself. And then also when you desire, I want some message or whatever, then it's mainly manipulated. In you is the power. In you is the power, not outside. In outside is the illusion. So what I should do? Not pay attention to the outside, but maybe you pay attention, and that's where you get confused. When you listen outside, it's with your hearing. So when you listen with your mind, then it's outside. Listen with your heart, and with your heart will tell you, keep it that way. Do nothing. There's no worries, there's nothing, there's complete peace in you. But then the only way is to observe why I'm not in peace. And mainly, as I mentioned, you desire love, you desire food, and you desire money. That keeps you outside of peace. And that's actually your true responsibility. Everybody is telling you, I want peace, I want peace. But how can be peace in this world when I'm not in peace? It's impossible. So the responsibility is, I should be in peace. I should not search out for them, because when you want to reach something, that's not in peace, because you think you need to do something or to reach out for something or to obtain something. I don't know. They tell you a lot of nonsense, but solely only in this moment you can see you're not in peace. You want more, but who wants more? And then they can observe, oh, I want more because somebody was telling me that I'm a nobody or whatever. And then you believe a big lie. And then you again trapped. So you should learn to observe by doing nothing. You get everything to you. And then you feel that's the way. But it's very easy. But now everything you want to solve, or you want a manual with your mind. It's exactly the opposite. Because when you search with your mind the solution, you will stuck there forever. So and then you're busy with thousands of things, different type of meditation, different type of what do you say, the spiritual path. They tell you there are nowadays, I guess, millions of paths of spirituality. So why? The only path is go inside. That's it. Why I should follow outside a path, instruction, idea? No. From the moment you turn off this, that means no attention, no desire, no nothing, then comes automatically the voice inside. But it's not a voice that you hear. It's a feeling. It's something that you truly know. This is what I have to do. Clear, more or less?
Yeah, thank you, Markus. Markus, how can free our being? Is that only by stop eating and drinking and observing and be silent?
To free your
Is a being really wanted to be free?
of course, but in a different type of liberty. Not the liberty you want as ego.
Tell me more, please, Markus.
Yeah. Take it easy. Take it easy. So it's actually this is very a combination that I already told you, because now you want to be in a situation how I get to actually the peace. Peace is the issue for everything. And therefore, you should always observe what keeps me out of peace. Dependencies, unhappiness, fear, whatever. Everything drives you in a direction that you are always lost. So therefore, by doing nothing, so I can always tell you, for example, the question you were asking me right now, where it comes from? Come from trust or confidence in yourself? No, it's because of fear, and I want to know what to do, in which direction I should move, what to listen, what not to listen, what to do and what not to do. But in the end, it's so easy that everybody is asking why it's so complicated for me, because you are thinking and you are analyzing and you want always an answer. You want everything ahead to know that it's this way or that way. I want to be certain. Why? Who wants to be this way and that way? So actually, the exit for it is to be who you are, who you are. That's the only way. With your ego, there is no liberty. Therefore, we are in a trap. Therefore, we are trapped in this what they call the samsara wheel. Dead born, dead born, dead born, dead born. So makes that sense. And also, when you observe, we do always the same nonsense every time we were born. So it makes no sense. The living that we live right now makes absolutely no sense. So therefore, you have to empower your true self, and only your true self can free itself, not you, because you are an illusion. So therefore, empower yourself, and your true self knows the path, knows what to do. But when you wanted to know physically, of course, we are everything what we see is more or less frequency, vibration. So we have to change our vibration or frequency, but that can't be done by the ego, not by outside frequencies that they sell you by YouTube. No, they say otherwise everybody would be gone. But I see still a lot of people here, so let's do not free yourself. So don't be so crazy. Believe everything what they're telling you. So empowering your true self and weaken your desires and power of your ego mind. That's actually to get free. Because then your true self will decide, I want to be here still to serve others, or I want to go away.
Markus, someone is asking, can you elaborate what is to be in service?
It's actually, I can't translate. It's vicious. When you translate it in Spanish, it's very easy. El servicio, el vicio del ser. It's the vicious service. Servicio means the vicious of your soul or your true self. When you translate, that means that your true self wants to serve others, but because it's automatically, because true self knows the other is me. So it's like, so I want always the best for the other because the other wants the best for me. That's actually how humans should live. It actually is the living of a tribe, of a community. That's the only way it works. So again, we go always back again. The more you're in your true self, the more you serve. And you can see mainly when you're in your ego mind, then you serve as a savior. And there are always the three parts you play. One is the savior, one is the victim, and another is the what you can say, victimario. ¿Cómo se llama eso? What do you say? The opposite of victim. What is the opposite of victim? The aggressor. Okay, the aggressor, the victim, and the savior. So these three parts mainly we play in life, but this is an ego mind play game, and it's not the soul service. And the soul do not classify and desire to serve. That's a very, 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 very important point. You can only serve or help others when you do not desire to help. Clear? I hope, because the most people want to help. When I want to help, I do not help. Because it's the ego who wants to help. Then you're again in the savior role or the whatever. Only when you do not want to help, then you can help. Should be clear.
Okay, Sora is asking, my son is 13 years old. On weekends, he will be playing with his gadgets, with his toys, and sleep late. He ends up sleeping long, so basically, he's like dry fasting for 13 hours. He's thin. Shall I worry about it?
The problem for your child are you, not food or television or whatever. The problem are mainly parents, because parents, with their worries, with their thoughts, transmit everything to their children. So when you are in peace, your children is in peace. When you are in worries, you transmit every worry to your children, and then your children starts to worry, then chaos starts. So, as I mentioned before, first work with yourself, that you're in peace, and then you can share peace with others. When you are not in peace, and when you're in worries, you are not in peace. So, and then what do you share with your children? Chaos. So, first start with yourself, and then you can share with others, even with your children. I hope you get it's actually clear and easy to understand, but I know you want a different recipe. I know.
Yes, Marcus, here is crazy. People get worried if someone sleeps too much. It's like, oh my God, you see, how can you sleep too much? You're sleeping too much because you're giving your chance to stop all the stimulants, all the rubbish that you were stopping or coming down. So no, why you worry because someone sleep a lot? The body, you need to follow what the body needs at its moment.
You should understand sleep is always overestimated, definitely. But your body is reacting, so your body knows when to take a rest. You should always understand it's taking a rest. And when your body takes a rest, it's up to your body. And there can be times in the morning, somebody lives to or is awakened at night, and it's always depending on the activity. But you can see you want to take a rest even by thinking all the time. It's also gets you tired. So actually, by sleeping, you stop thinking. It's actually a relief for your body. And of course, when you do hard working, then of course your body says, "Oh, I need a rest." That's it. Take it easy. Take it easy. Do not think too much. Your body is the wise one, not you.
Marcus, I have a question. Hi. Can you hear me?
Of course, Lori, go ahead.
Hi, Rocio. I just was thinking, hi, Rocio, you look so good. There's a girl that's she says she calls herself the breatharian yogini, and she was fasting, or no, I'm sorry, she was on liquids for 8 years, and she does a lot of dry fasting. She said she does, every um month she does 3-4 days, or I don't know, she does a lot. She said she's increased doing dry fasting, and recently she's just made a video now. She makes some videos, and she was concerned because a little while ago she found out that she was having a lot of major problems with her kidneys, weren't doing well, and she went to get tested and everything, blood test or whatever, and so she uh, was told to start, drinking more water, that she didn't have enough water or something like that, I think. But recently she just said that she's basically saying she doesn't understand, because she thinks that we should all be able to live on prana and not have to have this or that. And now she has low iron when she got tested. So she
Also drink industrialized. He drinks milk, or I don't know, soya and those stuff. So that is
she yeah, so she does. She said that she would drink nut milk, and she also does urine there, drinks her urine. And so now she's having trouble with her iron, like low in iron. I mean, is it to do with that then, Marcus, to do with that she's drinking nut milks and not other lighter things? Or, you know, she just doesn't know why she's having problems with her kidneys and with low iron.
Laurie, I don't know. Have you ever heard something from me? I hope yes. Then the question I do not understand. Cause effect. That's life. Nothing else. It's not about food, or diet, or whatever. Her problem with her kidney comes from past. That means fear, emotion, not because of less of drinking. So please don't get crazy.
Yeah, I know this, but I just
The problem
be able
is
to know what to tell her. I don't know.
yeah, well, she should do a true retreat with me to understand where it comes from, because the cause is it's yourself, or the one in itself. So you think your trauma from childhood, maybe the power from childhood, abundancy, or whatever, and the fear of to be alone or whatever causes problem with your kidney. I can see it. For example, my brother has problems with his kidney, and I know his fear is to be alone. And then the kidneys are reacting and showing to that's your thought. It's not coming from not drinking or whatever. It comes from your thought about yourself. The true, your what was it that uh, your personal lie. You have a personal that you experienced, like something what you think it's true. I was abandoned by my mom, dad. I was abused by whatever. Lie, lie, lie. It's an experience that you have to make, to balancing something, not to have the experience to learn something, to balancing something. So everything what happened in your childhood is perfect. For example, when you experienced abuse, then maybe in former life you were abusing somebody. So be grateful. Now everything is balanced and perfect. So in her case, I don't know. So of course, this is a personal lie. She should observe what's the cause. The cause, but when I'm in this level of consciousness, why I go to a doctor, please?
Exactly. I don't
Makes
know.
no sense.
Yeah, she's 8 years on this path. I mean, she goes to a lot of retreats, and she doesn't work. She travels all over the world. She goes, she's been at the breatharian in Italy. Like, she goes everywhere, and I would think, and she's a
Yeah,
yoga.
but she's confused because as I have observed, all the movement of Breatharianism and Pranism is transformed nowadays in a religion. Please. That's not a new religion that you have to fulfill, but and in the end, I've seen a lot of yogis dying by cancer. So meditation
Mm,
does not do, and prefer and living do not relieve you from your true from your personal life. Your personal life you have to observe,
mm.
and the most people like you, or the most people everywhere try to avoid to watch. That means distraction. And their whole life is nothing else than a distraction, moving from one place to another place. And da, da, da. Take your time to observe what's actually happening. I'm moving as well, but in my retreats, that's not only for them, it's only for me as well. I prefer silence and then observe. I'm still observing every day. There's still something in my life that's coming to me that I do not understand completely, then I have to observe. And that's it.
I
Nothing
I
more
am
to do.
trying to get her to come to the well, I told her about the retreats and sent her some videos, but and for you, Marcus, so you're saying that eventually you don't need interaction with other people, like you just to be alone, go to a cave, you said, or this is
Yeah,
something,
that's very nice because you're happy with yourself
yes,
and you
but
need
then that we don't,
nobody else.
so we don't need anybody else in our lives, like if that's the point you get, when we get to that point.
Yeah, I'm talking about the ego. So the ego always wants companionship or whatever. So you have to be happy with yourself alone. Then you can live in company.
Right. So that's one of the, you say it's
That's
easy, but I
actually
guess
the
it's hard for a lot of people where we
and
struggle with this.
yeah, then I use actually my partner to calm down my anxiety. Then what love is it? Where's that the love? I'm using my partner to not to be alone or not to feel the loneliness. Please. So therefore, and the retreat is actually not by because of food. It's only a side effect that by doing fasting that your mind gets a little bit clearer. But in the end, is to discover everything who you are not, discovering your the cause of your problems that you have in life. That's actually the sense. Actually, have done it this, or you have done it these 2 days, but in the 8 days retreat, then we do it more intensive because there's no escape, there's no distraction, there's no nothing. And I have seen it. Always a few escape. It's not because of food, because they're hungry. No, they see what they they have covered their whole life.
Well,
The
the food
life,
is
the
such a
person.
habit.
Yeah, of course, yeah, it's a habit, but the habit is because you are anxious. When you are happy, then the habit is gone because the habit comes because the anxiety is still there. When there's no anxiety, then you change your habit automatically,
Yeah,
of
but
course.
people, when they're happy, they want to eat too. They want to eat when they're anxious and they're depressed or sad or lonely, and when they're happy, because it's such a, people always want to eat even when they're happy, and where
Yeah,
they
they're not
feel like
happy.
they're still, they're not happy.
That is this desire, the status of stimulation, because food is a stimulation. It's a drug. So you get stimulated by the drug, and then you decide, and then you feel high. You feel drugged.
And then you feel like shit.
Ah, everything is nice and beautiful. Ah, no. And then after a while, then you're again back. And then you need again a drug. And then you're in a loop. You're trapped.
Yeah, it's just like, oh,
That's addiction. But the addiction doesn't matter in this case or what drug you use. You have to change or get to the cause why I am an addict. I'm an addict because my life sucks, for example. I don't like my life because I'm doing something that I don't want to do, for example, work. And that causes anxiety, and then I calm down and say, I need a drug. It's very easily. So I have to change my life. So when you participate in the longer retreats, you have to be aware. You have to change your life. Otherwise, why you go to the retreat? Because that's actually stupidity. when I expecting a change without changing myself, or at least change my life. How can be a change when I do always the same thing? Never ever will be a change. So you have to change. Therefore, it's also a big invitation to change. Okay.
Gracias.
I only can invite. I can only invite you to the retreat because it's not because of my talks. It's about your own experience. It's very important. Yeah, otherwise, it's like you have seen a lot of people do the lifestyle now. I'm Breatharian, or I live on prana or whatever because I did a process. Ooh, please don't get so easily confused. I understand because in the beginning I was confused as well, but I was still asking me questions. That's also a big invitation. Do not stop asking questions to yourself, to others, because it's so easy to follow an idea easily, and then you're in a trap without knowing it. So ask questions. Okay, I hope it's clear. I hope we see us very soon. August, it's not so far away.
I hope so. Yeah, well, I'm trying to get together.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Then we see us in LA in August.
Look forward to it.
Bye bye.
Thank you, Markus. We enjoy every second of you sharing your thoughts. Thank you for all the sharing, Markus. And thank you for people who make questions too, because you really bring up many questions that everybody has.
Rocio, I still have one.
Yeah, now.
Is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead with your question. Go
Okay,
ahead with your question.
thank you, Marcus and Rocio. Marcus, Rocio told me something you said about paying price for everything we consume, even if it's a carrot. And it really shocked me. And can you explain that more for us, please, if you don't mind?
Didn't get it. About the carrot, about what?
Rocio told me once that we pay the price for everything we consume, even if it's a carrot,
Okay.
even if it's a apple, whatever. Can you please shock me?
Only no, it's actually easy. Therefore, we should eat only ripe fruit that actually already fall from the tree, because then it's also in a process of degeneration, more or less. And then because everything has consciousness, everything. Only we can see it by ourselves. So normally when we die, then the consciousness goes away, but not immediately. Normally in our histories, always they're talking about 3 days. So 3 days that actually the soul goes or separates it perfectly with the body. By accident, it's much faster. But even when you, burn the body, then it's even faster. But let's say you die, then till it's the full separation from the soul from the body. Normally they say 3 days, and therefore I was thinking how fast the soul or the consciousness, let me say, the consciousness of an animal or a plant goes away or separates it from, for example, as you mentioned, the carrot. When it's you pull it out from the earth and then you eat it immediately, there's still consciousness in it, so you eat the consciousness. So you unconsciously, in my observation, you steal certain because it's a fusion of this consciousness you eat and the consciousness of your consciousness. Because they can see also when you do things or build things, then there's still, let's see, a fluid. So you have a fluid, and then you build one by a wood stick. And in this wood stick, there's still a certain consciousness, and then you create something with your consciousness. So there's a combination of this through consciousness, creating something creative. That's perfect. But when you consume something, then I often ask myself, where does the consciousness go? And mostly I also was always asking myself, in which point I offering myself to others that they can use me. So
So when I
when
have it
I'm
inside me, I'm allowing her to
when
use.
I'm
Sorry.
when
Yeah.
the point is when I'm doing unconsciously, so I'm eating unconsciously, for example, consciousness, then I offering to others that others can use me. More mainly others intended what's that? Entities, entities, others entities. That's the way we are. We are mainly unconscious and do unconscious things. Therefore, we should always ask and observe. So, therefore, as I mentioned, the best way would be rape fruits. So they are always not anymore green. They're already starting to rape. So when you eat a green banana, that's I don't know. You ask me things. I'm only asking myself certain things about certain fruits and certain vegetable or certain things that you put in your mouth. And where is the consciousness gone when it's not completely separated? And then you actually consume it, the consciousness. That's my observation.
So
Okay.
yeah. So if
Therefore,
we consume
therefore,
animals, for example,
yeah,
more offering ourselves to the entities because there is blood and there is
of course,
suffering and
yeah, alcohol as well. Mm. There are a lot of substances that opens because it makes you more unconscious. When you are more unconscious, then you are more, what do you say? They can use you much easier. But don't worry. You change only your habit and observe your habits. So eat and drink whatever you want to eat and drink, but the tendency, the horizon should be more or less only fruit.
I got you. Another question, please, Marcus. Thank you. Another question, please. Let's say, for example, I'm not consuming, for example, okay, but my partner is consuming, okay. It doesn't. Does that mean, is the partner able to transfer parasite to his partner, or do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, well, but the problem here is again your vulnerability. This is the word, vulnerability. That means when you desire something from your partner, then you have to open yourself for it. And then why you desire it. And that's mainly emotionally because something in you is dying. And so therefore you open yourself. And in this point, you are very weak. When you say, I do not need nothing from nobody and I share something with my partner, then it's okay. But normally you search for love. And then there's some link that makes you weak. That's actually searching for love. So
So
you do
this is
not.
parasite, not physical parasite.
Yeah, of course. When you have a so close relationship, of course. But therefore, as I mentioned, where's the desire? What you want from your partner? When it's pure love, then there's no danger. But when it's still certain anxiety, certain desires to be not alone or whatever, then of course, is this emotional weakness gives permission to others entities. For example, fear. Fear is a very good tool to stimulate you that you offer yourself to others entities. But take it easy. don't pay too much attention to it. Pay more attention to yourself. Why you're still searching for, well, there's 3 points. Why you're still searching for love, for food, and for money. Because therefore then we are not in peace. That's much more important than parasites or whatever. Because they only come because you're not in peace. Because you're not completely in harmony with yourself or with your partner. Therefore, it's the focus. Because when everything is in harmony and peace, then they are not parasites. Because they need you weak, not strong.
Markus,
Clear?
Hey,
yes.
sorry to interrupt. If I could just ask a question really quickly, if it's okay.
Go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt. Just I know there's a lot of questions, but I just wanted to share a little bit of my thoughts that like I was doing some fasting and like I feel, like no thinking, no desiring, no doing nothing. And like I feel very like sad and like very like I see like the personal lie or the like if something comes up and it's like the anxiety is very strong and like I don't know if it's because my ego, like I think like I'm this person, like I have these, but it's like it's very hard to it's like you take away the drug. It's like for when I fasted like 4.5 days, I stopped because I felt like there's no point to live. Like there's no point to there's no like there's nothing that makes me happy, you know? So um it's like I think like maybe I just need to go further or like or the ego's so strong. I'm not really sure, but that was just what happened to me. Maybe if you have any comments on that.
Yeah, of course. What is actually the drug? The drug is a stimulation. The stimulation is to cover anxiety. Very easy. So, and you think to eat something that gives you pleasure. So it's like any alcoholic thinks the shot gives you pleasure. So please don't get so easily confused. It's certain when you're still in a certain way of physical addiction, then you feel certain desire for stimulation. But the part that you drives to it is mainly anxiety. But in this case, yeah, you can do fast, but in the end, you haven't resolved the cause. That means your personal lie is still there. And then when you do not dissolve, then it increases the anxiety. And then when it increases the anxiety, then you need a drug or you get crazy. And therefore you prefer a stimulation. A drug is a stimulation. By stimulating, then you get unconscious. And when you're unconscious, then you think you're happy. So easy to see. It's like any other addict or any other drug you can observe with direction. But therefore is the big invitation. You have to go to the source. Otherwise, it's a loop, a little bit outside, and then again. There's never ever will be a change. So I have to change. It means I have to go to the source and observe my lie, and then I can discover easily. Oh, it's a nonsense. Actually, what I believe from myself, no, not anymore. It's actually a thought of my parents that I copied. So everything is gone easily. In my point of view, in my observation, very easy because I was observing because right now I am in Germany actually with my brother, and after the English or the retreat in England, I will be with my dad and my brother. Then it's like a test to be with them and then to be in peace and calm. So to know if I still have problems, that's very easy to discover. Go with to your parents and then see if they're still pushing some buttons. And then you see, there's the problem. And then, therefore, I'm testing myself. I want to see, is there still something around that I haven't seen yet? That's it's for me, it's a game. For me, it is I like it because I'm playing a game. That's it. But for others, normally they prefer not to see. They do the Strauss effect, putting their heads in the sand and think, oh, everything is gone, and then so there's nothing. You have to lift up a little bit your head and look around what's actually happening. And normally you in your life, you manifesting actually your lie or certain circumstances that helps you to discover yourself. But normally you try to stimulate, to narcoticate, or what do you say, to fall asleep again with a drug, whatever, in the case of observing. And actually, a fasting pushes you into the direction to observe. But then the most people take the shortcut to the exit because I don't want to see. But that's the invitation, as we were doing it in a short version, or called short version, only 2 days, to observe what's behind everything. Nothing comes from nothing, obviously. So there is something behind a cause, and I have to observe the cause for illness, for anxiety, or whatever. Okay.
So Markus, you said like the abandon, or you said like you're manifesting like your personal life. So just like if you have abandonment, like and somebody leaves you in your life, you're saying that you manifest them leaving, or
Exactly. For example, I have a lady in Peru. Every time when I'm leaving or their children leaving, she gets in crisis. So she's reliving actually the emotion in the past when their parents were abandoning them. So actually, it's her interpretation as baby or as child. You interpretate the abandonment. In the case of observe, this was this circumstances. Parents had to work, have to do whatever. But normally you keep or stuck the idea. My parents were abandoned me. So in her case, every time when somebody is leaving, it's like a trigger, and then it starts, and she feel for 2 or 3 days depressive by the emotion of I'm alone again.
wow,
So
this
you create the situation.
wow. Listening to you is it's like a breath of fresh air. Like I need to rewatch this video because you said very, very profound things that it's like you get hit with a brick in the head. And I was like, oh man, like I need to like wow, I was so confused, and it's like wow, like even it's like I just it's like it's so like you said so easy to fall back, and I don't know, just wow, like my last question, and
Yeah.
it's just um
Go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, just my I'm so grateful for this, but my last question, and like thank you so much, is that like you talk about like the being can't hurt or it can't do wrong. So I was just wondering like maybe like in because we see a lot of times like bad things happen to animals, like they get run over in the street, or like there's all kinds of cruelty, and it's like if the animal is in the being, or why does it get run over, why does it get a disease, why are like the babies born with illnesses, or like I was just wondering about that. Maybe there's not really a straightforward answer, but anyways, thank you so much, Markus, and thank you.
You're welcome. So in nature, everything is like a balance. So when you observe it deeply, then when we have, for example, in Africa, too many antelopes, I guess it's the word, then there will be more lion babies born, so that the balance can keep up. That means getting less antelopes, so then it's a balance. It comes automatically, and that you can see in nature. So there is no cruelty in nature, natural nature. It's a balance to create what we see over there. It's actually our playground. That's perfect. And this playground needs certain balance in certain climate, in certain soil. Everything has to balancing itself. That's everything is perfect in certain harmony. Of course, human is disturbing in certain forms a little bit, But in the end, when nature is working by its own, it's balancing automatically. Everything is balancing. It's very nice to see. When let's see a deer get hit by a car, I guess always it's for both sides. So for the deer, my time is over. Let's jump in front of a car. And for the driver, it's a moment to breathe, to see, oh, what's happened right now. Maybe I was distracted or whatever, or I was thinking about nonsense in my life, and then the deer is stopping, makes a break of my thoughts. And that's actually an invitation of the deer to say, oh, stop thinking, reflect. And that's it. Therefore, it's always a little bit harmony. When you see, for example, children can't get sick because to get ill, you need certain ego thoughts. So actually, and that you can see also by pets, because you can see cats with depression or diabetes. They say, oh, I've never seen a lion with diabetes. So where it comes from? Of course, it comes from the owner. And as well, the illness, because a baby can't create it by itself because there's no ego consciousness or ego thoughts. So therefore, everything comes by the parents. So a baby is ill because of the parents. Very easy to observe. And that's just a pet is ill not because of whatever. Sometimes, of course, the food is not very good, but in the end, it comes mainly from the owner. So very easy to observe.
We also receiving all the time messages like people who are more time on the screen playing video games or watching TV series are the more depressed because they are constantly programmed to be anxious, to be I don't know what emotions, and it's like that is the drug, the screen.
They want some comment from me. Of course, you have to ask yourself why in the US, for example, US for the first ones who had so many TV programs. Why? And why are there so many amusement parks? Why? Yeah, because they're unhappy. They need some distraction, and that's all. Fulfill them with TV programs, with series, or they have to go to the amusement parks to distract themselves. So you can see, always say everybody wants to go to the US, but the people in the US are the most unhappy people because they need so much distractions. So when I need distractions, then I'm not happy. It is easy to see. So it's no accusation or offending somebody. This is only observing. You can observe. But the point is why they are so anxious, because they do something that they don't want to do. Then you use any drug, any distraction to cover it. And then you think, I'm good. This is the terrible lie that you can do, is to lie yourself. Because we are actually trained to lie. Because you are confronted with two liars, that these two liars are your parents. And then they train you to lie, and to lie to yourself. Because actually you can see any child is always telling the truth. And blah, 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 means saying what actually a child feels. Then they came the parents, no, you can't say that. You can't say that. Shut up or whatever. And then the children always ask, when I'm telling the truth, I get, what do you say?
Panic.
I get vanished or whatever in this type. And then so I have to lie. I have to be a liar. I'm not honest. Then in the end, you are lying to yourself. That's terrible, because then you don't understand nothing, thinking everything is okay, but then comes actually an illness or something to show you, no, there's something to watch on it, to look on it. Look what you're manifesting, and then you're manifesting constantly. So therefore,
Markus,
silence, be an observer. That's enough to do.
okay, what can I just ask? Is it the same thing with
Before
making?
on the chat, Marcus, did you ever actually fully feel your light body?
Fulfill what?
Your light body.
Yeah.
Your light.
If you had had the experience of transfiguration, that means you are so deeply immersed that you are pure light.
No, we are light beings. So when you're in a true self, then it's the perfect state. Of course, you can always, because the observer is obviously the ego, because the soul do not needs to observe itself. So who is observing is actually the ego. But so you have to observe the observer as well. Who is observing? In which status I'm observing? I'm in a neutral position. I'm with some ideas in my mind. That's normal. But this ego, to dissolve it in non-existence is more or less impossible when you are so deep in it for your your whole life. But you empower your true self, and then the ego has no power anymore, and that's the same thing. You have to take off the power, and then it's easy. And then you are doing everything by your true self. Then mostly also I'm asking myself, who is talking right now? Because I'm not thinking to talk. I'm not thinking about the words that should come out of my mouth, or what is the answer. And I do not know the question. I don't know nothing. I'm here in a neutral position. And that's then when you are neutral, then what your true self comes on the surface easily, and there's the answers. I do not know any answer, of course, but I'm observing and inviting others to observe, because in the end, you do not have to know nothing, because your true self, you knows everything. So even when now we have already almost 2 hours talking, there's no conversation needed.
Thank you.
Actually.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. There was still 2 people, Mimi and Lori. And then we wrap it up here, because now we have 2 hours.
Yeah, Marcus, the question is, if we are gods, why we are manifesting all this suffering and misery? Is getting to my head, like, we are light, we are dark, we are everything. So why we not just, it's done?
Oh, yeah,
We
you're
are,
manifesting.
I believe so.
Yeah, but you're manifesting what you believe in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then by observing the manifestation, you have to observe who you are not. And then everything what you manifestate makes no sense.
When you say we are not, like, it's like I am when you say I observe what I am not, like I am
the
my
one who is
work.
who is thinking is the one you are not. Everything what you're thinking is not the one you are. Actually, you do not have to know who you are, because the one who you are knows who he is. So or who it is. So you are actually useless, but you were trained to be someone. And actually, you are the jail keeper. You keep your soul in jail, or your true self in jail. Meanwhile, you are thinking and desiring everything what you want. So the point is always the same thing: empower your true self. And I'm empowering my true self. I can only do by observing who I am not. I'm not a woman. It's a body. It's not me. I am not the one who is thinking. Who is thinking? Who decides? Who is working? What's happening? That's observing without any judgment or anything else. Only observing. And only to be an observer needs a certain time, because we are always like analysts. We are analyzing everything. We are comparing everything. No, you have to switch into an observer. But to be an observer needs time. So take your time, do observation every day. Every day. It should be a routine every day. And then the rest comes by its own. Okay?
Thank you, Marcus.
Okay. So, Marcus, 2 quick questions. And thank you again so much. So if we came here the way, you're like light beings and our soul and the way, and not needing to eat or needing anything outside ourselves, when did it start that somebody started, and who started and when and why did we start eating and needing so much that like changed every like when did that start?
Yeah,
When
I don't know, but actually we are uh, not beings that starts from zero. I always was thinking where it comes from, where starts the zero
Mhm.
point. But everything is, we call it evolution, but it's actually a development of adaptation and then to explore something new and so on. Because we are one consciousness, only to separate ourselves in different consciousnesses to experience the separation. Nothing else. There's no big deal. And then we do experiences. But then something went wrong in my observation because right now ego is not needed. For example, you can uh, we can walk and or you learn walking and even talking without ego mind, without thinking about ego. Therefore, there's no need for ego. Ego is growing by two egos. So we have to understand everything is not natural and normal. When, for example, there's a nice book. It calls um, Continuum Concept by Jean Liethoff. She was living 3 or 4 years with a tribe in the jungle of Venezuela, and she discovered the happiness. Their people are happy, and why they are happy? Because they have no ego or in this size of ego interpretation. So they eat very less, they live very easy, happily with themselves, and that's it. And then we have to ask ourselves why we live right now. Why we live right now. Only from this gap, living in the jungle and then now living in cities. And only this small gap gives you a certain idea that drive you in a certain direction they or someone wants to. Because when we are happy, why we change? Makes no sense. So somebody is pushing us in a direction that we are unhappy. Because when we are unhappy, then we consume. And when we are a consumer, then we are slaves. And when we are slaves, we are very easy to manipulate and to handle. So it's very easy. So
Yes.
there's always a certain hand behind, but I'm looking in a solution, not to change something, not to change the system. That's impossible.
Mhm.
But we are part of the system, so we have to change. So it's not to change the system, so we have to change. So the main part is to be in peace. Then we have no wars outside. Wars are
Mhm.
a reflection of ourselves. When we are in a war with ourselves and we hate ourselves, then how can be peace outside? It's impossible. So therefore, we have to start with ourselves. And of course, to
Just like
live
Michael
life.
Jackson said, take a look at yourself and make a change. And yes, thank you.
But nobody is actually doing it. Everybody is trying to change everywhere.
We're
My partner
trying.
has to change. My partner has to change
Yeah.
because I don't like he is asking or what he's doing. But in the end, we are the force, but the force is inside us, and this is actually the true self. Therefore, I'm saying empower yourself. You do not have to know everything in detail, where it comes from, where it starts. We know right now there's a mess, and the mess can't be dissolved by knowing the past, by knowing who I'm not, and dissolve the problem with me, with myself, and then I change something. Otherwise, I'm
Okay,
only looking
perfect.
for outside enemies or whatever. That makes no sense. They are confused, and have true compassion with them. True compassion means love them like they are, even if they are confused. That you
Mhm.
can see, for example, in all these puppets in the politicians, they're puppets. So you have to have
Mhm.
compassion that they do not know what they do.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. And now the last thing, I just think about this. So making love and sex, is that just another distraction or another stimulation that people want or need? I mean, it's a good feeling. People like to make love. Is this something that we need to stop also? Like,
we have to stop to mix it up. That's only. But I don't know. We have to open this can as well
well, I
because
think I know it.
yeah, because we have only a short in the observation from my side. We have to now sexuality and procreation is mixed. When you observe in nature, there is no sexuality, only procreation, nothing else. And so we have to separate actually sexuality with procreation. Procreation should be something completely different, and sexuality should be like children do, innocent, without any interest. But the ego always apply interest. So the ego can't do or practice true love in a true form of sexuality, in a true form of love. You should have no interest in your partner, but you have interest. And then you use the partner instead of love your partner. It should be enough to think over a little bit. So,
Thank you.
Rocio, let's wrap it up here because now it's more than 2 hours. And when there are still questions, then maybe we do another meeting like this on a Sunday.
Yes, thank you everybody for joining, for fasting with us together. It's easier when we are together. Thank you very much. I love you all. It's a wonderful group. It's wonderful to be honest. Take it out what is deep on our heart. Share it. It's wonderful, this experience, doing it together.
Thank you, Rocio. Thank you, Marcus. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Really appreciate every one of you.
And sign up to the retreats if anybody wants to go to any of the retreats that are happening. Sign up now.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank
See you. See you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.